All right, hey guys. So I just want to do a quick recording for a follow-up for one of my SEO videos. So this is just to explain and sort of walk you through based on the previous video that I've done. Essentially, we're still working on a same website. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see whether is there any improvements to the website from the implementations and the strategies that we have done for the website, and then kind of take you through what we look out for and stuff like that. So hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in chat. And if you're watching this on replay, just feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. So the site that we are working on, so the site that we are working on, it's called Remedy AP. So essentially, we have done an audit for them. We have also mapped out a bunch of keywords to their pages, especially for pages that they want to rank for. So that's essentially what we have done. And we have also passed on this whole Excel sheet to the developer for the developer to implement all these technical changes, because with this particular client, they are working with their own developer. So that's why we are not the one implementing the implementations in terms of technical aspects. So if you have a website, always think about optimizing and making sure that your technical aspects of your website is correct first, because if not, you can have the nicest design, you can have the prettiest colors, brand, but if your website is structured in a way that it can't be understood by search engines or by Google, by Bing search engines, then it's not going to make any difference unless you are running paid advertisement. So with paid ads, as you know, it's paid ads. So the moment you stop paying for it is the moment where you stop receiving traffic. So now, just to do a little bit of recap, I like to always see. So we haven't went on to look at this site for quite some time. So I just want to see the performance of it to see if there's any increase in traffic and things like that. So as you can see, there's a slight increase in traffic. Now the profile of this customer is they are based in Australia, and also they are offering services that is within a niche. So it's a niche within a niche. So that's why the keywords that they can go after is very, very little, very niche. Because they are within a construction niche, but within that construction niche, it's another layer down. So it's very, very sub niche, I would say. So that's why you can see like the traffic is not going up. But one thing that previously we have done is we have mapped out a few keywords for them to go after. So let's just see how the keywords are performing. So this is one of the keywords that this is a new page that we told them to create. And we are strictly going after this keyword called corrosion control services, because this is one of the service that they offer. So you can see over here they are on page 1 already, which they have not they are not visible for this page since the start. And voila, you can see corrosion control services position 1, and yeah, so we have helped them. So their ranking dropped a little bit. Okay, but I'm not too much worried about that, because there's a lot more. Fixing all the technical stuff will help you boost your pages that you are currently already ranking. So if you have pages that is within the first, I would say page 5 or page 10 or sometimes even page 2, and you have done all your on-page stuff, sometimes just by optimizing your technical aspects of the website. For example, optimizing your crawl budget, making sure that your URL structure is correct, and redirection and stuff like that, it will help you push the pages that are already doing decently to into the top 3 position. So I'm not so much worried about it dropped by 2 rankings, but it's basically doing the Google dance. So it's just dancing around this page 4, page 5, page 6. So not too much worry about that. So you can see some of the rankings, some of the keywords that is appearing, right? It's exactly what we went after. So this is part of the secondary keyword that we went after. So what we did was we mapped out, we told the client, hey, is this keyword relevant to your services? Which they say yes. And then what we went on to do is we went and looked for a bunch of secondary keywords that it's relevant to their service and which they could also rank for within the same page. So you can see one of them is corrosion protection methods. And you can see even though they are, not on page 1, so this is a good signal to us because it's showing that it's relevant for this particular page. So that's what I like to see. And then there's one. We created 2 more. So let me just go and see whether can I find. So we created this code. I think it's this. Okay. Let me open up the Excel. So I want to take a look at the 3 initial. So this is the keyword research process that we do for all clients, right? So it's very, very in-depth. And then, so these are the 3 main keywords. So you can see previously we mentioned about secondary keywords. So this is the main keyword that we are going after. And then you can see this is working exactly how we wanted, right? So you can see corrosion control services is the main keyword. Corrosion control services, and then the sub keywords is appearing corrosion protection methods, and then there's corrosion prevention methods. You can see over here. Okay, so this is exactly how we want it to be. And then obviously there's some secondary keywords that are not ranking, which is perfectly fine. So let me just move on to the next section. So this is another keyword that we went after. So paint consultant. So paint consultant is not doing really well. Okay, probably could be due to a lot of reasons, with the technical aspects. And also it could be due to the relevancy and the number of links this particular page is having. So what is happening is it's showing up in India, which is not our target audience. So one more thing that I like to check. So this is the first initial check. So actually, let me go to Upwork. Yep, so this is the first initial check that I do. So this shows me that, this particular page that we went after, it's not showing up for any keywords. Okay, and this could be due to a lot of reasons, the technical aspects, the page not being optimized enough, and things like that. So we have to take a look at the Google Search Console, which is accessible to anyone. If you have a website, you should get Google Search Console hooked up. Okay, if you're not sure why, I can explain it. So this is not showing up. Now I'm going to move on to the next one, Concrete Inspector. Okay, so Concrete Inspector, showing up for some keywords that we are going after. So Concrete Inspector, the main keyword that we're trying to target is Concrete Inspector, but it's not showing up for Concrete Inspector. It's showing up for Concrete Protection Services, Concrete Testing, which is concrete testing is one of our secondary keywords, so it's getting picked up by Google, and then as well as concrete protection services. Concrete corrosion protection. Okay, so interesting. This is not one of the secondary keyword that we are trying to target, but it's still appearing up for Google for this, which is, I think, is quite relevant to what this this page is trying to go after as well. So perfectly fine. And you can see they're just bouncing off here and there, right? Because there's a lot of reasons. One of the main factors, it's usually because of the domain rating, like how authoritative your website is. So you can see over here, the website is not authoritative at all because, it doesn't have a lot of powerful links pointing to it. So, yeah, so even though it has 599 links, it doesn't have links pointing to this specific page that we're trying to go after. So that's why, you know, these two pages are generally not doing that well. That is one of the reason. And also just to check for performance, right? I like to go and check out Google Search Console. Okay, and then Remedy AP. So this is one resource that you can use. You definitely have access to it. If not, please get it hooked up. Every website should have their Google Search Console hooked up, because if not, you're not sure how well your page is performing. So you can see this is filtered by 12 months, the last 12 months. And you can see the page for impressions. If you're not sure what is impression, impression basically means how many times your website is appearing on the web, on Google. Right, so it doesn't mean that people are clicking through your website. It's just showing you how many times your website is being shown in front of people. So, say for example, if somebody is searching for, you know, buy shoes, for example, right? So this is impressions, right? So this is one impression, one impression, one impression, one impression. Now, impression doesn't mean that people click through to it, because that is for clicks here. By impression just shows you how many times your website is showing up. And this is a good sign, because this means Google is showing your website more often to as compared to your competitors, and Google is pushing your website to people that are typing relevant keywords. Okay, so you can see over here, the total impressions is increasing. So yeah, this is during the period where we did optimization for them. So the impressions increase, which is awesome, and then the clicks are around the same, right? So this means that, like I mentioned, because this market is a niche within a niche, the ideal target audience is very, very small. So that's why it's very difficult for us to, you know, see a major increase in traffic, major increase in clicks, because of the market, number one, and secondly, also because of the nature of their service. So with their service, you know, they are a high ticket, very high ticket service that they offer, right? So one time it could be over thousands of dollars, because they are within the construction niche, doing like concrete inspection and stuff like that for buildings, for boats and things like that. So that's why the traffic doesn't have to be a lot, but if you target the right traffic, it's going to bring in sales. So one more thing I like to check is their Google Analytics. Okay, so basically what this tells us as an agency, it's first of all, the impressions is working, is increasing. So this means to say that there must, the number of the number of times the brand is being noticed is more. So that's first. Secondly, it's clicks is not increasing, right? So one more thing I like to do is just do a comparison. So you can see clicks is around the same, right? So this means that brands is the number of impressions, the number of times the website is showing up is increasing, which is good. However, the clicks are not increasing, which is something that we have to work on. And we need to figure out how we can work on it. So I'm going to look at the analytics now. Okay. And one thing I want to look at is to see whether is there any goal conversions. Okay, goal conversions essentially means, you know, how many times a person submits the form. So you can see there's a total of 4 people. And this is not via, I don't think it's via organic. So I like to filter by organic, because with SEO, one thing that we want to focus on is organic traffic. So organic, there seems to be 1 lead and not very high. Then one more thing I like to look at is the total number of traffic spent over the whole year. So you can see that the number of organic traffic seems to be fluctuating a little bit. So in May and June, it has higher traffic as compared to as compared to the last 3 months. So it seems like traffic is picking up slightly. But organic traffic seems to be decreasing, which is kind of interesting. Well, not really decreasing because, well, it decreased in July. So when we started working on the project, I think it was, when was it? I think it's September. Actually, I actually forgot when we started working on the project. Let me see. I think we started working on the project, I think around July or August. All right, we started working in August. Yep, we started working in August. So this means to say this drop has nothing to do with us, right? So basically, huge sigh of relief. But basically, something happened on their side. So in August, we started working with them, and as you can see now, their traffic slight increase, but it's dangling around here and there. But I would say, it's still not a significant increase, and the main reason why is because the market is so small for their market, for this particular business, so small. So I believe, so one thing currently right now, after we are at the phase of passing the technical implementations to the developer, and the developer has actually done up all the rest of the implementations. So our job here is just to check to see if the developer has done the correct implementations. So overall, this is just how to check to see, kind of monitor your data. And this is really important because if you do not know, if you have a website and you do not know where your traffic is coming from, you don't know how to track your leads. You don't know whether if a campaign is doing well. If it's a paid campaign, you do not know whether the paid advertisement is doing well. If it's a organic search campaign, you do not know whether are your strategies that you've implemented working or not working. So this is just an overview of how you can monitor the changes you've done for yours or your client website. And then, yeah. So now let's move on to this whole aspect. So basically, this is what we have done up for the client. We basically drafted this whole exact sort of like the framework and the blueprint for how the website should be set up. So first of all, you can see this is the correct version of the site. So it needs to be HTTPS. That means it needs to be secure. And there's non-www. So sometimes, for example, okay, this is the correct version. Sometimes, and this should work, if you enter in www and this doesn't get redirected, this means to say your website has two different versions, okay? And this is not a good thing. Why is it not a good thing? Because you're telling Google, you're telling the search engines that you have two versions of your site that is exactly the same. So what needs to happen is, okay, as you can see, this is being redirected. So if I force a www, okay, this is redirected to the home page. This is what we want to see. Okay, this is a 301 redirect. It's a permanent redirect. So this is what we want to see. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a tick box. Says check. Okay. And then this is the non-www version. So this is check as well. And then this is no trailing dash. So I'll show you, let me see if I can show you a bad example. I'm just going to go to one of the Australia website, one random Australia website. Okay, so for example, so this is the correct implementations. Let me see if I can show you an example. Okay, this is also, let me see if I can show you a bad example. Actually, Singapore sites have a lot of bad examples. Let me see. dentist. Okay, first of all, you can see this is not a HTTPS. That's why it's not secured. So that's first. Secondly, if I cancel away the dot dot dot, it is redirecting to the correct version. So I'm gonna wait, not gonna waste time, but basically you get what I'm trying to say. If you don't, just let me know. And then same, so what we want to do is, if you take a look at this URL, right? Okay, again, this sometimes, and everything here is to do with technical aspect, to help search engines understand your website a lot better. So if the more they understand your website, the more they will push to your traffic to your potential customers. So you can see this is one version. However, sometimes you'll notice that some pages end with a backslash. So what needs to happen is you need to decide which is the correct version. If you want all your URLs to have a backlash, then you need to make sure that all your URLs on your website needs to have a backlash. And if you want it to be without a, I don't know what is this called, right? This backlash. Okay, but if you want it to be like that, you need to make sure all the URLs on your website it's without the backlash. So what needs to happen now is this is what we have set for the version of the site. So basically we want all of the URLs to be without the backslash. Okay. So what needs to happen is if I force a backslash, this needs to redirect to the correct version. Okay, which is awesome job. Which is awesome job by the developer. But I'm not sure why it's a 3-2 redirect. Okay. Seems like a server redirect. Okay, so one more thing I like to check, right? Because sometimes, okay, this is slightly more advanced, but sometimes if you see, like if you have a tool that says it's 302, sometimes it's 302 on, it's showing 302 on your browser, but in actual fact, the server is actually doing a 301 redirect. So one thing, the surest way to check is, I think there's a redirect checker. Yeah, this. So what you can do is you can pause this here and then check status. Okay, so this is a 302 redirect. Okay, so this is what we don't want to see. So again, I'm gonna leave a comment here. Is there a way that I can put a cross? Actually, just do a cross. I like to make everything symmetrical. Okay. Check. Oops. 301 redirect instead. Okay, and then this is just a video that we have shot for the client, and then now let's see. So we want to check to see if all the HTTPS version is getting redirect. So in this case, this is getting redirect, and this is 301, so this passed the test. So let me do this. Oops. One redirect, so this pass. This pass. Pass. Okay, great job by the developer so far. Pass. Yep, pass. Okay, one more thing I want to double check, right, is because this is the URLs that is specifically listed here. But what I want to see is I want to see pages that is here. Yeah. Yeah, these are pages that I want to see because I'm not sure if the developer did it for site-wide or oops. Problem with too many tabs. Yep, so let me just check for this particular URL. Okay, this is redirecting. Okay, this is redirecting. This is redirecting. And this is redirecting. Okay, so it seems to be working fine. So all of this is good to go. Okay, I've done this check. All four pages redirect to home page. Okay, so this is awesome. Test. Interesting. Okay. Done. Okay, great job by the developer so far. Okay, and then Slug version. Okay, this is correct. Canonical should be self-referencing. So here we go. Self-referencing to canonical. And usually how I like to check websites, right, is you don't have to check every single page because usually you notice a pattern. So if you check for 2 pages and you find an error, so probably it's going to be happening on a site-wide basis. That means it's going to be happening on all the pages. So I just like to open up a few. So self-canonical, so this is awesome. Self-canonical, this is awesome. Self-canonical. Self-canonical. Awesome. So all of this seems to be working fine. Yep, all 302s should be redirect. So what's funny, I think all these specific URLs is a 302 redirect. Yep. Okay, so all of these are correct. It's just these two that they need to check. So I'm gonna mark this as red so that it's easier for them to see. Okay, and then let's check the pages to be deleted, whether all these pages are deleted. Two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so all the deleted pages are being redirected to the home page, which is fine. Okay, and one last thing to check. This should be a 301. Yep. So all these are good to go. Okay, pages set to no index. So these pages should be set to no index. Okay, there's a no index tag here, which is awesome. And there's a no index tag here. Awesome. Next, redirection table. So this should be redirected to this page. So let's see. Quoting Inspectors Australia, Quoting Inspectors Australia. Okay, this is the 3.1 redirect. Let's check for canonical. Okay, wait. Yep, canonical is fine. So the developer has actually done a decent job. Great. So correct version, wrong versions to correct versions. Wrong version. So this is the wrong version. Okay, let me just see whether it is canonical. All right. So this canonical is all right. So the 301s are in place, so which is awesome. Okay. So yeah. So it seems like there's only two major issues. Yeah, actually only one major issue, which is 302 instead of 301s. So probably what's going to happen, right? It's I would almost say that the impressions, well, the impressions have already started going up, which is awesome. So you can see over here, if we span it for the past 6 months, the impressions is already going up, which is what we want to see, because these kind of graphs doesn't happen for no reason, right? It's because of all these things that we are doing to help the algorithm understand the website more. That's why the website is getting picked up online a lot more. So if we filter this to the specific country that they are targeting, okay, you can see that there's a slight increase as well. So number of clicks. Okay, I want to take a look at the past 28 days and see what clicks we are getting. So some of them are so Quoting Inspector is 1, so this is decent. Paint Inspector is 1. Okay. Quoting Inspector is getting them 7 clicks, which is decent. Okay, so with that being said, right, now there's once we have reached this phase, once we have done with this phase, right, particularly what we can do next is there's always things for us to work on, and one thing that we can work on is building links. However, building links is a very tedious aspect, so I'm not too sure if I want to do this for this client. So that's first. Secondly, is another alternative that we can do is we can put all these URLs that we are ranking for in the first position. We can put them through Surfer and optimize them for their NLP and keyword density and stuff like that. So that's slightly more advanced. So yeah, so with that being said, I think that's all. What we can do is we can just let this client know, and then we can take it from there. So hopefully in the next video, it'll be a follow-up for this particular project that we're working on. If not, then we'll see what else is there. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments or anywhere, depending on where you see it. So have I been on this? Wait. Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure how long have I been on this screen, but yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy yourself. Take care and